Hello everyone and good afternoon. Today we are going to be covering the Tournament of Position finals between Ryooo and Pofke. This is going to be an informal solo cast, however headquarters chat is open if anyone wants to pop in and join me and chat while we watch. But in the meanwhile, let's take a look at the two players who have made it to the finals here. Ryooo came here from Bronze Division, and Pofke came from Silver. But if you actually look at the score lines here, Ryooo finished the season with a score of 20, 9 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. And Pofke finished with a score of 20 with 9 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. So both players performed very, very similarly during the season, and needless to say, they've performed pretty much the same in the Tournament of Position as well. The way the Tournament of Position works is that you get matched up against players who have the same exact win-loss record as you. So not only did they have the same record during the season, but they have continued to have the same record as they both won their first 3 matches. And that is why they have both already made it to Gold Division. The result of today's match will just determine who is higher in terms of position. What that means is that if any spots open up from Platinum and people have to start sort of moving up, then whoever wins this match today would have a slightly higher chance of making it up to the next division. And so I'm just getting word from Ryooo that they might be starting the match in about 10 minutes. Actually, so we have a little bit of time to kill here. Let's take a look at these players' stats, because they're actually, not just in terms of their record, they're very similar as players as well. The first thing you can note is their sniper win rates. Pofke, I believe, has one of the highest ones in all of SCL, but Ryoo's is up there as well. It's a total of 72%, and if you look at just Season 5, 76% sniper win rate. Whereas for Pofke, it's 88% over both seasons. This season, slightly lower by not even a percent, but about 88%, which is, I think, in the top 2, maybe top 3, maybe top 1 for all of SCL. I think Legorv is the only other person who was up there, but Pofke is still here, and Legorv went down to the losers bracket. So. And they've also had very similar journeys throughout their SCL career. They were both in Season 4 in Challenger. And if we just look at the standings for that over here, Pofke ended Challenger with 4 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. Seemingly a late joiner, didn't get a lot of matches in, but it's the same for Ryooo. Also joined late, got 5 wins, not a single loss or draw. They both made it into the Challenger tournament, where they both went out in round 4. Ryooo losing to Turnip Boy, and Pofke losing to Lazy Bear. But obviously they both practiced a lot between seasons, and they've been doing absolutely fantastic. They also met again in the Summer Cup. This was the bracket for the Summer Cup where Yeesh and Dowsey made the finals, and Yeesh won. But in the semifinals, Yeesh beat Ryooo, Dowsey beat Pofke, and so Ryooo and Pofke played for 3rd place, and Ryooo won that time. But despite that, Pofke did end up in the higher division this season in Silver, and Ryooo only in Bronze, 1 division lower. And because of the way tiebreakers work, the higher seed gets the tiebreaker advantage here, which means that if this match goes 8-8, that means that Pofke will get the win. Ryooo needs to reach 9 points. And so these two players are also fairly similar in terms of their playstyle. You can already see it when you just look at which venues they prefer. The top picks from Pofke are Modern, Veranda, and Library, all of the 5/8s. And it's basically very, very similar for Ryooo. If you look at Ryooo throughout all seasons, Modern, Library are quite high up, though Veranda is not. And the main difference there is basically that Ryooo likes to pick ballroom, whereas Pofke's 4-8 of choice is gallery. But they're basically both comfortable with similar maps, so I don't expect to see too much fighting over the picks and bans here. And so then, Pofke, if you're looking for weaknesses in the pick ban phase, which I had to play Pofke a few weeks ago, and so I was looking for that, the main weakness that you could find is that Pofke doesn't have a lot of competitive experience on 3 of 5 maps. Throughout the season, only 1 game on Terrace, 5 games on Pub, and none of them were Spy wins. And Balcony is really the only venue where Pofke's win rates aren't sky high, 60% only and only 60%, but that's still above average for Balcony. So if Ryooo was looking to get some sort of advantage in the picks and bans, he could go for those, but I don't know if he will because I think he's comfortable with all of the larger maps as well. And in fact, Ryooo bans high rise more than anything else, so it looks like neither of them are going to want to play that. We do have Ponoob joining me over here in headquarters. Like I said, if anyone wants to join, feel free. Hey, Ponoob.
Yep.
I was just going over Pofke and Ryoo's playstyles. I was noting how they have similar maps that they like. But in terms of playstyle, I think these are both players that Dowsey would describe as a Steam era camper. I think his new term is
Yeah,
investigative
that's definitely
sniper.
accurate.
Which,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, there's a more technical definition, but the way I see it is it basically just means they see everything. They have perfect mission counts and they catch every hard tell. At least that's what it feels like to play against both of these two snipers. But how would you sort of describe it with a little more depth than that?
Yeah, so when we talk about like old school campers, like people like Varonis, James 1221 sort of stuff, I think it was just due to ignorance that they were just campers. Like they just don't have the knowledge base necessarily, and we put so much time into getting tech in this game that you can it's not that hard to do etiquette stuff. These players are actively choosing not to. Like I know Pofke has the knowledge, and both of them are very clean on their spy side, so they know the information, and they're still just choosing to. Generally, they want to shoot for mission wins, and they want to shoot for hard tells. Neither are incapable of shooting for things like flirt, um, but they're just trying to play the most pragmatic game that they can.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that sort of mission tracking from both of these players a lot throughout the season. I've seen Ryooo be able to take shots for green purloin chains that are going for 30 seconds. I've seen him be able to take shot on a suspect as soon as they get the second fingerprint because he has the perfect count from all players. Pofke shooting for green swaps, never any hesitation, always knows the exact order of who was at which statue and when. And I guess that's sort of what differentiates it from a totally hard camper because it's not that they're just watching the hard tells; they are also, getting the mission counts.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about like behavioralism, we have a lot of different things that are actually part of that concept, but generally it's going to be they're not making choices. Pofke, I'm not playing you. You're playing Ryu. Stop it. Um, the choices that you're making, they're not like going to be low lighting
Hmm.
for etiquette typically. Despite the fact I think Pofke has the ability to do like pathing low lights.
Well, I know that Pofke has etiquette and behavioral knowledge because he fishes for those lowlights when he is the spy. Pofke is one of the players who I just don't try doing behavioral lowlights on because he'll do whatever he can to get them. And every time I look at a guest playing Pofke and think, oh, they just sort of canceled that
Dude,
briefcase really weirdly, or what are they doing
Pofke
going to
has
statues 3 times? And I don't
Pofke
lowlight,
has
and
more
sometimes it's
games played
Pofke.
more than me.
Hmm.
What a guy. He actually has more games played than me.
And so
It's,
Ryooo
it's
starting off with no ban. I mean, we were just saying that Rio's most common ban is high rise. In fact, it's what he bans basically every single time, either that or balcony. And there's no way that Pofke is going to pick high rise, and there's no way that Pofke is going to pick balcony. So it looks like Rio's saying I'm fine with anything else. So I don't even need to pick a ban here.
This guy has diamond level amounts of games played. Like, what? Like, I remember him when he had like 4,000. He's snuck up to 8,400 now.
Pofke going for the ban on Taen. That's a little bit more of a genuine worry. Ryooo has picked Taeyen twice this season, so if Pofke's not comfortable with it, no reason not to take that ban there, since other than that, they are going to have similar maps that they're comfortable with. But Pofke is getting spicy to start things off. Ryooo is not. Ryooo goes with his very, very, very standard pick of Ballroom, but the first pick from Pofke is going to be Aquarium.
Yeah, so when this match isn't like truly like there's no division on the line, I think picking your favorite map makes the most sense. And if Aquarium isn't your favorite map, you're a heathen.
Well,
Shark
Ryooo
is
is
amazing.
getting spicy. Ryooo actually wants to win this and is picking Pofke's weakness in balcony. And Pofke is fighting back with a very standard pick of courtyard.
Have you considered that Rio likes balcony? I don't know why. He's French. I mean, that might be why.
I don't think Ryooo is a particularly huge fan of balcony. He hasn't really chosen it all season. I mean, he only has 5 games of balcony played this season total. When he won, I guess what, two of them, two of the five. I don't know how much that really tells us. But like I was saying, it's the only map where Pofke doesn't have amazing stats, so it does seem to be sort of a counter pick, if you ask me. And then we have the final picks coming in from Ryooo. We have Library, and from Pofke we have Gallery.
Okay, so pretty reasonable picks. We are playing a lot of the four ofs, ballroom, aquarium, courtyard, and gallery, all on the menu today, and that just means we're going to be seeing a
Yep,
lot of it coming down to like the one bug, for example. Wow, they started quickly.
they did. I didn't even have time to finish updating the final picks and bans there, but we're starting off with Ryooo as Pearls. So, what do you think we can expect to see from Spy Games from not only Ryooo, but I mean, they both play similarly. What do you expect to see from Ryooo here?
So Ryo's decision making has just been fantastic. I think his preferred situation, and especially on ballroom, is going to be just do inspect banana bread, flirt, and then get a nice bug. Pearls does give us the opportunity to have particularly powerful bugs. Um, Rio has been known to mix it up. He will do things like Purloin, and he really does like the side statue swap. Here we have the Purloin.
Yep, that's a really, really early choice from Ryooo. And what do you think made Ryooo decide that this would be a good time to go for a Purloin? While Queen is just taking it, the list is not visible at all now.
I think Ryu might realize that things like behind the back bugs, which are typically very powerful, are going to be neutered just because Pofke spends so much time watching for those sort of things. Doing a Purloin here might be something that he just has a bit of knowledge on.
I mean, I'm not seeing
Heading,
any reaction from Pofke at all. It doesn't even look like Pofke has noticed that the list is gone.
I suspect he does. Yeah,
Oh, okay. You were right. Pofke was totally on top of it and just shot pearls as soon as she went to the statues. That was
yeah. We
interesting.
had Queen highlight and us highlight. I'm kind of surprised with the timing on the shot. I'm not sure if it was something like quick pickup or something, but uh, I mean, it's a spy. Can't really hate it. Hey, Pofke's doing exactly the same character. I appreciate it.
Well, like we
And
were
he's
saying, they
requesting a
play
drink.
very
We might be
similarly.
purloining.
My
Yep.
god, we are purloining. We're going for the same thing. This one is a white test, though. It's right on screen, and Pofke is going to be shot even quicker than Ryooo was. But Ryooo correctly knows that there's no need to take a shot in the first 30 seconds of the game, even if it is pearls. You'll have time. She's going to do 3 more missions. Pofke goes for a fake banana bread to
This
maybe
is a
try
known
to
fake.
throw Ryooo off.
So Pofke, I think this is quite clever. You're doing the banana bread with the seduction target. We know the seduction target is not an SDA, so from Pofke's side, we know it's fake, and that makes it more powerful than accidentally framing yourself, especially when you're already as high of a suspect as you could possibly be, presumably with the
Yeah, I think we
purloin.
wouldn't have seen that banana bread if the purloin had been a green, but Pofke knows that getting away with a white purloin is really hard, so he felt he had to do something to lower his suspicion level. I don't think it's going to work. I think Ryooo is not going to forget about her. It's not like Rio's going to say, oh, Pearls doesn't have real BB. I'm sure it's fine then. No, he's going to keep watching, and if Pearls goes to statues and finishes them, or gets fingerprints, or does anything else, she's going to be the shot.
Rhea, we already know. Yeah, he's doing safety off on Pofke like it matters. We know you're suspicious.
Yeah, usually you do the safety off on someone to tell the casters, by the way, just so you know, I'm suspicious of this person, but I don't think we needed to be told that. But Pofke also knows that Ryooo is suspicious of him. It's why he's been just hanging around in the same conversation the entire time. He's going to go away for a bit, but I don't think he's going to go for missions. I think he's just trying to get the flirt timer a bit lower and also make sure he can enter next to the twin when he goes back for it. But anything more bold than a flirt is probably going to get Pofke shot here.
Yeah. The interesting thing with these sort of situations is how much knowledge you have starts becoming really valuable when you only have like a few suspects. Things like no talks or animation breaks that you don't typically watch for, but when you're just staring down someone, um, become a lot more powerful. This might just get a shot at this point.
Yeah, that's the real banana bread, and if you're just waiting for a reason to shoot Pearls, you have it. I don't think Ryooo had a mission count there saying Pearls was done, but technically she maybe could have bugged. It
It
doesn't
would have to
matter.
be probably prior to the purloin,
Yeah.
which wouldn't have been very likely at all. It's a good shot, and I think there's also value in just being patient and seeing what they do. Seeing that Pofke wasn't trying to rush a bunch of missions is educational. These guys are going to be meeting up in gold. I wouldn't expect them to just try and like use all of their spicy tech against each other now. If you have like plans and you go, Rio's really weak to this, I wouldn't alert them necessarily because you want to use those when you get into gold and you have to deal with the absolute hellhole that gold will be because it's going to be Pofke, Ryo, Dowsy, Lazy Bear. Got a few undecided, and we'll find out those
Uh,
this evening.
well, here's a cough. Luckily, we are small men, and there's no way to see the cough behind the pillar, even if you were watching. But it is still going to let off a bunch of lowlights for Pofke. Let's see if there's anyone who Pofke is confident didn't cough. Looks like the
My
answer
bet that he
is
was trying
just
to bug
boots.
there, and then got surprised when the banana bread came off to a point that he actually missed the action test entirely.
I suppose so. I
Um,
mean, the ambassador was being pushed out at the time. That conversation was pretty full, so it looks like the timing on it might not really have been great if that's what Ryooo was going for. Question is, what's Ryooo going to do now? And the answer seems to be wait in this exact same position because the
I
ambassador is
would
at
not move.
statues and they might be passing by us again.
Yeah, you can do a timer flirt, and the reason the timer flirt's good is because the ambassador's here. We're gonna get the bug here, and
It's
no,
invisible.
doesn't stick.
Oh, it doesn't take, and it's
And
not invisible. My god.
yeah, like I said, doing behind the backs against Pofke, he, if not one of the best, maybe even is the best at catching them in the game. It's gross.
And so that's another sniper win. Not surprised. I was surprised at how confident and how quickly it came off. But I think it's just setting the tone for the rest of this match. These players are going to be onto everything as sniper, and it's going to be really, really hard to get a spy win. But Pofke's going to try to pull it off now as Rocker.
Yeah, weird choice to do like the immediate flirt and then just leave then. I think you could have left earlier and cheesed it or left later and looked less suspicious. Now we're just setting up a potential future banana bread if people settle down.
I mean, there are two conversations that are pretty full. Here's the ambassador passing, and there's an attempt at a bug, but unfortunately the ambassador turns around because hair got in the way, and so Pofke's not able to get it. But this time, I'm pretty sure the bug attempt was not seen.
Oh no.
Ooh, we're coughing as we leave the banana bread, and Ryo's lining up the shot. That is a major unforced error from Pofke.
Yeah, I mean if you're trying to do the BB split and get the low light sort of idea, then you need to be very quick on the assuming that you hit the green. He didn't hit the green, he just ends up coughing and it gets seen. But against someone where if you truly respect them, you got to make some plays. I mean, if you watch my set against Yerend, there's just flubs everywhere. Just a couple games completely wasted, and it's just because we're really trying to beat each other, knowing that if we don't do something spectacular, we're just gonna lose.
And so we're going to be
On the
moving on to
aquarium.
Aquarium, and this is definitely, is this the new Spies playground? This is where Spies have a lot of agency and can actually come up with plans to sneak something by the sniper, even more so than they can on Ballroom. And seeing as how all four of those Spy games ended pretty quickly due to a hardtail being seen, I'm betting both of them are happy that they're going to be able to try to do those behind the shark this time.
Yeah, I've not seen Ryu's. Oh goodness, that can't be good. Yeah, we got a highlight for it. I haven't seen Ryu's aquarium, but with his decision making in general, I think he might be quite good at it. I don't know why he thought that bug was particularly good though. There wasn't shark cover or anything.
I mean, sometimes a bug not behind the shark can be better than one behind the shark if the sniper just expects that you're only going to bug when you're behind the shark. But it's probably not going to work out very well for Ryo to go for that against the grain play here. Ryo might not know that he's low lit for it, but either way,
Hmm.
it's going to be hard for Ryo to do 3 more missions as one of only 2 highlights on the map right now.
The pathing to the far side of the window pad they're on is quite a weird path. I'm just learning things here. Watching these guys play. The problem with this position right now is we are behind the shark, right next to the ambassador. If we weren't already credited for a bug, we're going to be credited for it now. Just because we easily could have taken a bug, which is why I don't like that bug earlier. It's just a bit unnecessary. We get to highlight for it when we could have just gone to bug later,
Yeah, now we're
more
stepping
often than
into
not.
flirt here. We're not even with the real double agent. We're not even entering next to our seduction target. It shouldn't be a problem to finish the flirt later, but I'm just wondering. I'm wondering what Rio's plan is for the rest of the game because beyond getting a contact, he's gonna have to decide. Does he want to go for fingerprints or statues here? It'll be really easy for Pofke to notice him getting 2 of those since he's already highlit.
My wager is we end up swapping a back statue and we get shot for it.
Yeah, I don't
Just
really
based on
have
the
a wager,
character and
but I
based
just don't
on.
think Rio will get away with anything he does.
Yeah, I mean, you could do things like time ads, line up the fingerprints in the future on the green bookcase. Microfilm wasn't the first thing that came to mind.
Well, there's a fingerprint on here. That can work if you want to go for a fingerprint finish. My worry is that the contact is starting to get harder and harder. Queen, the double agent, is heading off to the back of the venue. I don't know if Rio's even going to be able to get the opportunity to contact when he wants to.
If we're gonna go for a print, it would need to be another difficult print on the green bookcase. Before Twin puts back JK, Ambassador is super friendly and gonna go uh touch the bookcase again.
Well,
We've got our
that's
flirt
great.
now.
Yeah, we have the flirt. I guess we're going to go in for the print on that shelf. But meanwhile, what's up with Queen? Where's she heading? She's in the bottom left conversation now, but Rio's not going for the contact. Instead, heading over here. Is there a fingerprint on this statue that's been left there for a really long time? No, instead it's a side statue swap, which gets Rio immediately shot.
That's a choice. So the ambassador did end up taking out the book, which is a problem for Ryu's finishing. So we're never going to get that print because he's just not going to return it back in time. I did think that the back statues were just going to get a shot for even like potentially swapping. And I think Ryu agreed, so he did a side statue, maybe get a green test and put a bit of strain on the sniper. But I think Pofke remembered why he had him highlight the whole time.
Yeah, I think that what we were seeing from Rio there, he was trying to make sort of unconventional plays. We saw it twice. You think I'm going to bug behind the shark, so I'll bug when the ambassador is in view. You think a swap will happen at the back statue, so I'll do one at the side statue. But there's a reason that spies make those standard plays. It's because they're the hard ones to see, and the things that Rio was doing were right on screen. So even if he was going for something counterintuitive there, it doesn't seem to have been the best strategy, and we'll see if he changes it up on his next spy game. But first, he needs to get this sniper win against Pofke.
Yeah, it's gonna be a situation where it still goes. If Pofke wins 8 games, the set is still gonna be over. They're not playing for gold; they're already in gold. But when it comes down, if it's just 16 sniper shots, we're in trouble.
Yeah, and it's sort of unfortunate that Ryo is the lower seed here because, like I was saying at the start, these players have had very similar SCL journeys. And there's a swap,
Wow.
a red swap coming from Irish. Sorry, I was trying to talk about SCL history, but you have to just go and red swap. Red swap in front of
Yeah,
Ryo's face.
Ryooo did this, and we saw it in the last cast. He also went for the ankle shot. It's just such a precise play. Like, the swap's not that interesting. He red swaps, but he shoots him in the ankle just to make sure that he doesn't, like, move out of the way and shoot the guy who's behind him, who's inspecting statues.
And are we going to
This
see
could be
another swap
this
here?
Yeah,
Yes, we
you have to
are.
swap
The
this.
high shark was passing. Pofke only had a moment to memorize that statue before the shark came, and that's why it can be important to start your memorization at the top right in case of that high shark. And we're going to have the moment of truth now. Did Pofke memorize the statue or not?
I don't think it was possible to be seen, just based on what I saw on the sniper side.
No, and so Ryo's gotten away with it and also hasn't picked up a highlight. Some snipers will highlight you for that because they have to remember that you could be credited with a swap. And so Pofke, even if he hasn't highlight, needs to tell himself, whatever your mission count is for Irish, remember it can always be up by 1.
Which on Aquarium's so powerful, right? Because if you do something else that you can't really credit, like a bug behind the shark, then their count is just I'm shooting you for float and BB, and then a bunch of potential not really that hard tells.
Yeah, and that's why if someone starts at that back statue and you weren't able to memorize it in time, you have to pay extra attention to them. And I would say that's really what this game is going to come down to. If Pofke has made the correct choice to keep an eye on Irish, despite not giving her a highlight, he should be able to win this. But if Pofke is not crediting Irish with that mission, it'll be really hard for him to take the correct shot.
Ryo's playing this pretty slowly, but I think in part it's just been our seduction targets, just been everywhere that isn't where we want to necessarily go to.
No, and so we are going to get the flirt over here at the bar. This is one of the most obvious flirts, and like you were saying, even though Pofke is primarily focused on the mission counting and the camping, he is able to notice something like this, especially if it's from the guest who could have done a swap.
I think he's capable of doing things like catching it on maybe high rise. There's so many more important things to be watching Aquarium. Things like the person who just went by the ambassador behind the shark.
Yeah, and so we are picking up the option to delegate here. It doesn't seem like Ryo is a major suspect, or at least that's not what I'm getting from any of the sniper movements, and from the fact that the party seems relatively active. Pofke neutral lighting Orange Sari, bringing her back up to a highlight, doing another lighting dance over there on Salmon. It seems that Pofke has a lot of things going on, but Ryo is not one of them. Banana Bread coming off now. A lot of people moving around. That's Alice, Twin, and Smallman who just enter, and Pofke was just on it. Pofke was just on to Irish the entire time, and we had no idea.
Sure. These guys are good snipers, and why he didn't highlight him at any point is beyond me. But I mean, spy is a spy is a spy.
I mean, this is what it was like casting
Cheesy
the
delegate.
gold finals.
Cheesy delegate. Yeah, so this is the things that weren't happening in the gold finals. The gold finals, they were trying to play like actual spy party, and not trying to really bamboozle each other. They are very much trying to bamboozle each other and are still getting shot.
No, and there was a delegate sent out to Duke while we were behind the shark, and both of us immediately left the conversation. Ryo has no way of seeing that the delegate happened. He just has to infer it from the fact that both Queen and Duke left the conversation. And if he did notice, he would notice another quick leave from Queen there. But it looks like Pofke wants to do maybe a contact to cover up the list getting taken. Because if you contact now, you will be ruling out Duke as a spy, and he's the one who just took the list.
Yeah, we're just double downing on the situation where we didn't get seen at the bar in those first like 5-10 seconds that we were able to get.
And look at that nice zoom in on us.
For the,
yeah.
Jeez.
All right. Well, it could be that Ryo was just watching for the bug there, but it could also be that Ryo was on to the potential delegate. And if so, we can expect to see another unexpected shot at some point. Oh! But the safety is off on Duke, and there's the first spy win. Pofke with the cheesy delegate strategy, totally getting away with it. And now Pofke is in the lead here. Ryooo had no idea who did that delegate. Ryooo, I think, was in the midst of highlighting for real BB and then just decided to take the shot on Duke because he just didn't think that anyone could have delegated to him. And now Pofke is picking up a lead. Why is the screen showing me balcony?
Maybe balcony.
Oh, okay, we're at balcony. Wait, was that 4 games?
Uh, yes.
Oh, so I didn't give
Maybe.
Pofke the point. I don't know. The
It should be
chat is
5. It should be 5-3,
okay.
right?
Yeah, it's 5-3. Okay, never mind. Someone in the chat said the scoreboard was good, but it wasn't. Yeah, so now we are moving on to balcony. So Pofke did break serve there, and Ryooo is the one who needs to hit 9 to win this. So Pofke is officially at what seems like just an ordinary lead, but is kind of a huge one.
Yeah, and now we got our prom position there with Cowboy, and hopefully our section target comes in near us. That's not as close as we were hoping there. Also Duke is also on the toes of Salmon.
Yeah, and
There was a
so
lot of potential flirting.
Ryooo just decided that he didn't even want to bother getting a flirt from that far away, so he's going to leave and re-enter next to Kane. At this point, Ryooo will probably have to talk pretty quickly and be right next to someone in order to get the flirt, which can look suspicious, but the thing in Ryoo's favor is that he's only talking for the first time 40 seconds in, and so that's something that Pofke might not think is very threatening, but he does pick up a highlight for it.
Pofke even trying to like hide the highlight too by doing the camera movement.
Whoa!
Okay.
Well,
Duke is not having a good day.
no, Duke must have had some sort of opportunity to bug. Either that or he had talked twice and we were assuming a green flirt. Who was the sniper in that game?
I don't know. Pofke.
Pofke was the sniper. Great, so that's a point for Ryooo, and now Ryooo just needs to win one game here as sniper to come back from the deficit that he was at from Aquarium. Yeah, could have maybe gone for a bug on that Ambassador. I think the arm
We were
would have been visible.
facing the camera. It would not have been brilliant. But
I mean, we were literally walking through the middle of the conversation, which was weird enough as is, but could look AI-like to some people. Maybe Ryooo will think it is. There's a banana bread coming off. We stopped talk immediately after, and because Toby was behind us, Ryooo didn't have the proper angle to see if Sari was talking or not, so I think we've gotten away with that banana bread.
These guys' pathing is just so solid. It's not like it's going to be punished if you do bad pathing in this set, I don't believe. Like, not perfect pathing, I should say. But they're both just playing very cleanly. It's nice to see.
No, Ryooo really needs a sniper win here, and I don't think he's going to get it because I don't think Pofke is a suspect, and Ryooo has a few other highlights who seem like they could get themselves shot, like Irish, who is already a highlight and is talking again now. Pofke is doing a really nice move here, entering, trying to give Queen room to enter next to him, and it's exactly what happens. Sort of mind control, but also there were only 2 open spots, and we made sure that there was one next to us. And so Pofke is able to talk, get the first flirt. I'm assuming there was a stop talk because Pofke isn't talking anymore, and still hasn't picked up a highlight.
The flirt was at Windows.
Oh, it was at Windows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
If Irish goes in the conversation and talks, she's super dead, by the way.
And she's going to enter, and let's see if she talks. She talks instantly.
So
yep.
So dead. He got the safety off on her anyways. She was being the most suspicious person. I think one thing that didn't help us out there was we just missed the white banana bread and could have definitely caught the stop talk potentially. But because of the angle and Toby blocking, the stop talk was actually legitimized as a good play.
Yeah, and so Pofke has held on to the lead now. If Ryooo had taken that back, he would have been feeling really good. But at this point, it's going to be hard for Ryooo to catch back up to a tie and then get ahead himself. But we've been seeing Spies make some really bold plays on Courtyard to get those spy wins.
That pathing's terrible, but whatever. We just don't want to get the highlight for picking up the statue.
And we're not.
We somehow got the statue. What?
Huh?
No.
What?
It says picked up statue in the log, but we never picked it up.
That is so weird. We went for it and we canceled as soon as Pearls got it, so it looked pretty good. But Pofke's not really going to be giving out lowlights for anything like that, I don't think.
Oh, I get it. So in the log, it says picked up statue as soon as you attempt to pick up statue, even if you don't necessarily actually get your hands on the statue.
Makes sense. And so now Ryooo is taking a drink. That's another move to try to lower your suspicion level. But again, I just don't think Pofke is going to award Ryooo with anything here. Even if Ryooo doesn't become a low light, though, he can just hope to keep a low profile and then rush something towards the end. But that's sort of the standard spy play on Courtyard anyway, isn't it? Trying to get a mission done in the last minute. So I just don't see how it's going to work out for Ryooo, this slow playing. There's a contact coming off, a ton of people in conversation. I think just Wheels and Alice were moving around, so it's a lot of available low lights. Pearls maybe sort of looks like she split, but Ryoo's not using this banana bread to cover for a bug, a purloin, or anything else. And so the clock is running down now. What sort of play does Ryooo have in mind for us here?
I don't think anybody's actually finished fingerprints so far this set. Bug is going to be an option if we're general. We always have been seeing a lot more of the swap and runs on Courtyard, but Ambassador's not in the right spot. You want him either next to, like, on the side of one of the statues, not necessarily in the middle where he's easier to watch and see people enter the statue pads.
Yeah, and so unfortunately, Ryooo has just fallen into the classic Courtyard problem. There's a minute left now, and it's not going to be possible to get 2 missions done unless one of them is the inspect, so you're going to have to go into the statues at some point. But there's a purloin. It's actually on the other side of the screen, which Pofke wasn't watching, so
And
I
a
don't know if
highlight
Pofke was onto the reject, and now the list is going. The fade isn't easy to see. Pearls took it, but Pofke, of course, is onto it because he's onto literally everything all the time.
Ryooo did the cute play there of requesting, making it look like if you miss this this purloin, I was actually next in line. But Pofke apparently had it across the map vision on the reject, so it wasn't the forefront of his camera.
Yep, and with that, Pofke is now on match point. He just needs to get one more win here to take the set. And that's really just going to come down to Ryooo dropping behind just once, just that one sniper game where Ryooo took the miss shot on Aquarium because Pofke got away with the purloin. Ryooo should be able to get the sniper win here and not fall horribly behind. There's a banana bread coming off. This one is also not to cover for anything, but again, not very many lowlights available. So Pofke is in a decent position here. I'm expecting to see Ryooo get the sniper win and for Pofke to get his final win on one of the next maps coming up. But if Pofke could get a spy win here on Courtyard, he would establish total dominance in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why Pofke can't win this game. He just has to play through a highlight, but it's Courtyard. You have options.
Well, why does Pofke have a highlight?
For the banana bread. Now we're gonna have trouble with the. Actually, we could swap this. He hasn't looked at it.
Yeah, I guess we could, but yeah, it seems like Pofke's highlight for a real BB, but only one of the conversations with an SDA got highlight, so Ryooo was using some sort of voodoo. Oh no, apparently General, the SDA, joined the other conversation after the banana bread, so it's just a standard real BB highlight. Now it's a highlight for inspects as well, and that's just unfortunate for Pofke because it's really easy for Ryooo to notice that one of the people with real BB went in for statues now, and even if we can finish this flirt with Teal, you know, she's not really making herself available. We can try to get over there to the window, but I don't know if it was necessary. But we are able to get it before she leaves, and now we just have to decide what our last mission is going to be with 1:20 seconds left.
We look incredibly spy-like, though. We've been on camera the whole time since the inspect. He saw us do things like the put down and the flirt, and now if we try and purloin, we're going to need a really long reject in for this to ever have a chance.
There it is, and it's clearly on Ryoo's screen. Ryooo definitely was watching Toby, and it was easy to see that Toby was behind Irish there. It really does. Okay. Toby's going very far, but the fade will be on screen, and the shot comes off.
Yeah, he got a bit of a hidden fade there, but just the list being gone means Irish is the obvious shot anyways.
And I think he was already suspicious of Irish just from the real BB and the statues, so even if he didn't see the fade, he was ready to shoot Irish.
Okay, this is a good opportunity here for Pofke to just take the set. Playing on the sniper side of library.
Yeah, there have been a lot of discussions recently about how much agency the spy has on library, and the discussion has seemingly said, yes, the spy does have a lot of agency, there's a lot the spy can do, but the snipers are still winning a large percent of the time. And why do you think that is?
So when we talk about plays on library, so there's things like pillars that you can go behind. You can do cheeky microfilms, either like just take the book out or go do it behind pillars in the corners. Time ads are really good. You can line up like middle statue and spec swap plays. So you have these choices. That being said, it's a 5 of 8 map. And unlike, say, Veranda, which I think is the or a 5/8 map that has the most spy wins. I'm not 100% certain on that. You don't have like just the amounts of just brutal cover. Everybody has a bit of space. You're not just missing things because of Purloin in the left side of Veranda, for example, where it's just you don't have visibility on it. Uh, on Library, almost everything is visible if you're watching that part of the party.
So some good news for Ryo. Despite this slow start, the other twin just did pick up a highlight. And since we are the other twin, it's unlikely that Pofke is going to want to highlight both of them. But the problem is, it's been about a minute and a half now, and we have literally no mission progress. We need to enter next to Seek and start the flirt at least, but we're not even doing that. Instead, we're going right over here on the edge of the yellow bookshelf. There's no fingerprint available here, so we're
Oh,
just ripping
we
it out, but it seems to me
we're
like that was
saving
right on
that.
screen.
Yeah, I would even consider changing the twin lights to highlight that twin or mark the book or
Banana bread.
something, even if you don't mark books.
Yeah, Banana Bread
Uh,
coming off. There's a lot of really easy, confident lowlights you can take from people who
yeah,
are just
just
standing in
four.
the middle of nowhere. And
I
then
think
we
four's
are
fine.
moving conversations in the aftermath of the Banana Bread, getting ready to set up to put the book in green. But I don't know if Rio's going to get away with that when he does it. But either way, he has to try. If he puts it back in yellow where it came from at this point, he's just not going to have enough time to get mission progress done. Luckily, we are going to start picking up the flirt, and it is a green test. Getting that 51% is actually a really, really big deal here, considering how much time is left on the clock.
Yeah, one option these guys have, and I did a lot of my practice games for the year-end set against Ryooo and Pofke, and they both vocally stated that they're terrible against time ads. I don't think either of them are particularly time ad using players.
And here's the book going back to green. Pofke not really looking at it just yet, and the twin is now going to escape the shelf without really being seen by Pofke. Marked suspicious, though. Now we're seeing the highlight change. I think Pofke wasn't really watching to see the twin put the book back, but in the aftermath of it, he did realize something was wrong. Now Rio's starting to make progress, getting that flirt done, and then immediately going into center statues. Unfortunately, a red inspect means we're not going to be able to get all the inspects in one cycle, but Pofke is watching to see if a swap happens anyway. And it looks like Ryo maybe three cycling and going for the swap as well. And unfortunately, he
That
can't stay at the statue
he
any
got a
longer.
flash on it,
Pofke
but I
has
think
to
he's
see
confident.
that. Pofke must be about to take the shot,
Wait a
has a
second.
moment to see it, and wow, has a little bit of trouble lining it up. But the shot does come through. And with that, Pofke takes match point and wins the set 8-5. That red
I'm,
inspect really, really hurting Ryo there.
I'm wondering if we're meant to go back towards the other conversation and just try and get a bit more cover. All we had there was the potential miss shot if like it hit small men. Um, really standard library play, and it's just standard play in this set. Wasn't the winning move. The play that was a winning move was the cheeky delegate on Aquarium, and then everything else was just snipers.
Yep, and that's kind of exactly what I expected from these players. You know, score of 8-5 uh, looks looks like a massive difference, but it really just comes down to Ryo missing one of the sniper games, and then Pofke, you know, sniping first, and so getting one more win that way. So really close set between these players. I mean, they both took fantastic shots. Continue every single time I thought that the spy wasn't a suspect, they in fact were the top suspect and were shot the moment they did anything. So
Yeah, I think these guys have each other's number, and that's concerning for both players. Moving into gold, where they will have to face each other in twice in a season with the double round robin, and you're like, how do I get spy wins against this guy? Things I would consider is like the chaos play that we saw that was game winning. They might want to start looking at time ads. They might want to start looking at like real cheeky plays, like things like pillar strats. just really try and beat these guys because they're not going to beat them playing a fair game.
Yeah, and I'm wrong. It wasn't entirely Sniper Party because the balcony games both had civilian shots. I just wanted to
Balcony's
take
not
a
a real map though. It doesn't count.
I just wanted to take a quick look at the aquarium again, where Pofke picked up the crucial spy win. Here is the delegate cheese right at the start. Wasn't behind a shark. Queen was totally visible there, but as we can see, Ryooo was just looking at entirely different sections of the venue. And then let's just take a moment here and look at the delegate Queen in conversation with Duke here. And then right as the shark passes, and they are completely covered, Pofke gets the perfect timing. Delegates weren't even standing next to Duke anyway, so it's not even obvious even if you were watching for it, but it's totally behind the shark. Pofke escapes to the lower conversation. Duke makes it to the bar. Ryooo has no idea. And we didn't know it at the time, but that was the moment that clinched the entire set. And I say we didn't know it, but kind of had a feeling that whoever was able to get one spy win would be able to take the lead. Anyway, that's all I have. Do you have any other final comments?
Yeah, shout out to these guys in the chat afterwards. Ryooo complimenting Pofke's sniper, and Pofke complimenting Ryoo's spy. Good sports there at the end of the game. This we got a lot of games coming up that are gonna have some stakes. Congratulations to Pofke. I think we need to get him a trophy for being the first inaugural tournament of placement winner. And thank you for doing what you do there, Dels.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, and thanks to everyone for watching. Coming up tonight on the official channel, twitch.tv/spyparty, there will be promotion matches, and that is we have Opie from Gold facing off against Bananaconda in Platinum. If Opie wins, he will climb up to Platinum. Otherwise, he will stay down in Gold. And then we have the same thing happening, Platinum versus Diamond. So from Platinum, it's Urand facing against Diamond Magician. So if Urand wins that, he will climb up to Diamond and be in the same division as you, even though you beat him in the Platinum finals.
I know, right? I try and get rid of him, and he just keeps on coming back potentially. Yeah, the one thing I'm sad about is I'm missing Magician and Kledos potentially. Well, definitely Kledos, but potentially Magician. I did want to play them in SCL, and we might maybe if I get kicked out of Diamond, maybe I'll see him in Platinum. But uh, we got yeah, just keep an eye out for it. It's gonna be a fun stream. I probably won't be around, unfortunately. I've got birthday things to do.
Oh, yes, happy
Um,
birthday.
well, thank you. And with that, best of luck to I think we got Banana in chat and Opie maybe too. Best of luck to you too. It should be a fun set at minimum.
Indeed. So have a good afternoon, everyone, and see you all later.
Cheers. Bye.